considered to be neurologically based. Nonverbal learning disorder, otherwise known as nonverbal learning disability, NLD or NVLD, is characterized by verbal strengths as well as visual, spatial, motor, and social skills difficulties. People with this disorder may not at times comprehend nonverbal cues such as facial expression or tone of voice. Challenges with mathematics and handwriting are common. While various nonverbal impairments were recognized since early studies in child neurology, there is ongoing debate as to whether or the extent to which existing conceptions of NLD provide a valid diagnostic framework. As originally presented, nonverbal disabilities or disorders of nonverbal learning, P272, was a category encompassing nonlinguistic learning problems, Johnson and Michael Bust, 1967. Nonverbal learning disabilities were further discussed by Michael Bust in 1975 as representing a subtype of learning disability with a range of presentations involving mainly visual cognitive processing, social imperception, a gap between higher verbal ability and lower performance IQ, as well as difficulty with handwriting. Later neuropsychologist Byron Rourke sought to develop consistent criteria with a theory and model of brain functioning that would establish NLD as a distinct syndrome, 1989. Questions remain about how best to frame the perceptual, cognitive, and motor issues associated with NLD. The DSM-5, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, and ICD-10, International Classification of Diseases, do not include NLD as a diagnosis. Assorted diagnoses have been discussed as sharing symptoms with NLD. These conditions include right hemisphere brain damage and developmental right hemisphere syndrome, developmental coordination disorder, social emotional processing disorder, Asperger syndrome, Gerstmann syndrome, and others. Labels for specific associated issues include visual spatial deficit, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, as well as dyspraxia. In their 1967 book Learning Disabilities, Educational Principles and Practices, Doris J. Johnson and Helmer R. Michael Bust characterize how someone with these kinds of disabilities appears in a classroom. An example is the child who fails to learn the meaning of the actions of others. We categorize this child as having a deficiency in social perception, meaning that he has an inability which precludes acquiring the significance of basic nonverbal aspects of daily living, though his verbal level of intelligence falls within or above the average. P272. In their chapter Nonverbal Disorders of Learning, P272 to 306, are sections titled Learning Through Pictures, 274, Gesture, 281, Nonverbal Motor Learning, 282, Body Image, 285, Spatial Orientation, 290, Right-Left Orientation, 292, Social Imperception, 295, Distractibility, Perseveration and Disinhibition, 298.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.